Hi everyone. So in this video, I will share with you about a recent statistics that I read, in an article published by CICnews.com, where they kind of explained and talked about how the study permit approval rate for Nigeria specifically has increased from 2019 till date. So the growing number of the levels of the study permit approval, gives for those that are still planning to study in Canada, if you are from Nigeria. I think this may also be true for some other African countries as well. That higher level of, approval rate, it gives you a sense of, commitment to pursuing your dream, right? To making sure, even though you've gotten the first denial or second denial, you should still try the third time. And if you're kind of thinking about, should I give it a try or not, I think this is just the best time to apply for study permit because the acceptance rate or the number of approvals are increasing. Irrespective, in fact, Canada is known for having one of the toughest visa rigorous, visa reviewer process because they scrutinize every aspect of your application, moving from the funds to the purpose of study to whoever is sponsoring it. So you have to really spend time packaging your application these days for you to get approval. I mean, this is why this channel also exists. I've talked a lot, a lot of, things in my previous video, just sharing some, information as to how to apply for study permit and some other things like that. So do what to watch, before you apply, check my videos out. There are a lot of things that you can see. So let's go through the article. It was published by a website called CICnews.com. So this was published on December 8th, 2023. So CICnews.com, it's a very big, news body that, tells a lot of, things about studying in Canada, permanent residency, just latest news as far as Canada is concerned. So I would say, visit their website and, subscribe, and then so you can learn more things. Now, let's talk about it. The title of the article says that Nigerian students critical to ongoing success of Canada's international education sector. Okay, which is, so let's see what it said. Now, in 2019, the number of study permits that were issued to Nigerian nationals were just over 3,000. Okay, now by the year 2021, that number has doubled. And in 2022, that number doubled again. Okay, so if you really think about this, record number of international students that are coming to Canada, it tells you that Nigeria is becoming one of the fastest growing student population in Canada. So there was an article published by Apply Board. For those who don't know, Apply Board is an international, education board that they can use to maybe do some kind of application. You can check out their website if you want to learn a few things about them. Now, they examine the trend of Nigerian students from 2021 to 2023, and let's go back to history. Okay, so from 2017 to 2019, Canada processed more study permits, study visa applications from Nigeria than any other country except India and China. Okay, now if you think about that, the even at that, the study permit approval rate was below 20%, which is really low. Okay, which means that only a very few portion of those that applied to study in Canada actually got their study permit approved. Now, as of 2023, that approval rate has actually doubled. Okay, now Nigerian students have submitted more than 43,000 study applications in the first 6 months of 2023, and that is really making them to become Canada's largest population of inbound students. So this is a chart just showing how the trend has increased with 2023. from January to June, whatever study permit that has been approved is more than that was approved all through 2022, which is quite interesting. Okay, now if you think about the reason why most of the study permits are not approved, the percent of those reasons are usually due to insufficient funds. And I have talked about repeatedly, in my channel that proof of insufficient funds does not necessarily mean that the money is not enough, right? Insufficient funds can mean, number one, there is inappropriate documentation of the source of the funds. Number one. Secondly, the documents that you are using may be blurring in terms of, when you try to because you have that 4 MB per upload, you try to compress here and there may be some documents that will no longer be clear, and that blurry nature of those documents is really something they don't like. That can affect the credibility of your application. Okay, that is also part of funds. And then another reason can be the person you are using as a sponsor, maybe brother, father, mother, uncle or aunt. You are not showing appropriate documentation of their own source of fund or the proof of relationship. So all of these can count towards, why insufficient funds may be a reason. Now, why, if you want to, you may have to ask yourself, which province are the popular province that Nigerian students choose? Now, this study showed that about 8 to 10 provinces saw more student permits issued to Nigerian students in the first half of 2023 than in all of 2022. Now, the most notable growth is Nova Scotia, with more than twice as many study permits in all of 2022. And this was the third most after Ontario and British Columbia. Of course, Ontario is still the highest, okay? Some of the colleges you can find in Nova Scotia, may include something like Nova Scotia, Community College, which is a very good province, a very good college, and maybe University of Dalhousie and all that. So these are the very common colleges or universities that you will find. Okay, now Ontario, still the top destination. British Columbia, still the top destination. Why is Ontario really the top destination? Because they have almost the highest number of colleges, okay? And, people prefer to apply because, you can have more options, right? There are some specific courses you may want to study, and you may find those only in some schools in Ontario, right? So that's about that. Now, how are Nigerian students really important to Canada's education sector? Okay, now in the first half of 2023, Canada has issued more than 6,500 study permits to Nigerian students. Just the first half of 2023, which is a record, okay, for any given year, right? Now, really given the increasing centralization trend of international students to study in some of the Ontario universities and college. So this agency, Apply Board, they really believe that Nigerian student population is very crucial for maintaining that international student balance, in the education sector in other province. So this actually helped to benefit Canada as a whole. There's quite a lot of distribution of Nigerian students all across the province. And if you think about it, this has also been very important. If you think about the billions of dollars that this can contribute to the education, to the revenue, overall revenue, to the Canadian government. And I think most of the reasons, you may have heard of the United Kingdom recently, announcing the ban for international students bringing dependents to their country. And we know that, UK, Canada is one of the, UK and Canada at least highest population for immigration and for Nigerian students. So there's a lot of competition, right? So this creates a lot of opportunity for Canada to secure a very significant advantage in terms of recruitment and, really continuously increasing Nigerian students, in the number of Nigerian students. So this is good news for those prospective students and those that already have application in progress. Your application, it's in fact contributing something big to the Canadian economy. Now, let's look at the number of permanent residents in Canada, that are Nigerians. Now, in 2022, Nigeria ranked as the fourth most popular immigrant source country of new permanent residents, after India, China, and Afghanistan. Of course, these are the highest. Then the fourth one is usually Nigeria. And so in 2022, Canada welcomed about 22,000 new permanent residents, and that makes it over 5% of the total permanent residence number issued by Canada. Now, one of the benefits of studying in Canada as an international student is the opportunity to get a post-graduation work permit, which means when you graduate, you are able to secure work permit, and that enables you to work. And then maybe after working for 1 or 2 years, you will be able to apply for permanent residency. Okay, so this post-graduation work permit, this is the main way for universities or colleges that are designated learning institution, and it is an open work permit, which means that it allows you to work for any employer for a maximum of 3 years. So if you do a 1 year course, you get a 1 year work permit. If you do a 2 years course, you get a 3 years post-graduation work permit. So this is very crucial. Okay, when I read through the statistics, I was like, okay, this is important to share. So which means that if you are planning to apply for your study permit in 2024, you may be among those that may have higher rate of approval for the year 2024. So if you are thinking about it, make sure you put your stuff together, submit all the right documents, watch as many videos you can on my channel to make sure you are submitting the right documents. And if you think you will not be able to do it yourself, I offer a one-on-one mentorship section where I guide you through, show you whatever questions you have. I can help you, pick the best school and the best course that you should apply for, and then just give you some of the resources, where to find some of the resources you will see on the IRCC website. If that is something that is of interest to you, there's going to be a link in the description. Click on the link, visit my website, and I will be so glad to help you in this journey. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed, do it to subscribe so that whenever new videos are released, you will be the first person to be notified. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.